Yes, greetings, greetings, greetings. Tonight we're going to have an exclusive interview with one of the community African leaders here in South Australia, to be specific, in Adelaide, and his name is Jaison Midzi. But he's still on his way here. So as soon as he get here, we will start talking. This is not gonna be a long interview or a long talk or anything like that. But before we start, let's just go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back we will start, and then we will get on with you guys. So please, when you come, do share the video, and so a lot of people will be able to watch it as well. Don't forget, this is BNA show.
You know what? It's killers in the beat. Jeffrey Norte, Hotel News, Hotel Entertainment, Hotel Politics, no fear no Hotel BNA TV. You're done. Hey, yo, Natalie are the corporate. If you be girl are the corporate, Charlie, me BNA TV, Charlie. Don't flip that down, keep it low. BNA TV, others of Booker say so. Killer.
Hey guys, keep watching BNA TV.
Yeah, what up, this your boy Fatozia, aka Choco Flavor, aka Elale, aka Abato Benele Benu Fiola. You are watching BNA TV. When I no subscribe, no kind of fan on the no Gemma Lab. Elale.
Hi people, my name is Anthony Wood. Hey, it's better be there cool. I did tell you. So watch BNA TV, because I say so.
Come on, yo. That's all the Papa Shabo, I know Chappie Chassé. Me problem fight. Woman then get down there. Oh here I BNA TV. Watch the Facebook, Instagram. I made them a fan. Come on, no fan on it. I feel okay. BNA. Magake.
Hi, my name is Mordiana Denati. I'm a broadcast journalist at Pan African Television. Keep it locked on BNA TV. They're doing so well. You do not want to miss their shows. Keep it locked.
Right, tune in to BNA TV. Make sure you're always tuned in, I guess.
This is Colossi Music Entertainment. You see me, I say, this is BNA TV to the world. You see me, I say, follow, watch, and download. You see me, I say, BNA TV. Enough salute. BNA TV, not the more. Done the best. Come on. Come on, BNA TV. Come soon, come on, BNA TV. If I know here, all right.
Yes, BNA TV, the gateway to entertainment. Like I said before, tonight is an exclusive interview, and we have a lot of issues going on here this week. Especially, there was murder in the city from two Africans who stabbed themselves. But I got this one of the leaders of the community, African communities, and he's gonna be here with me, and then we're gonna be talking about this tonight, plus other stuff. He's still on his way coming. He's a musician as well. Might as well play one of his latest music video. And then when we come back, hopefully he should be here, and then we can kickstart the interview. And so you guys are not too bored. Let's enjoy his music video. Jaison Midzi.
Makasi ya Mungu. Ambassadeur ya la paix. The King of Sukus. Jana lelo, jobadi kotosa miziki na yo papa. Ndika kujarisa nino kama bibidi bangu embele yangu ni sama. Ndika ndinofamba slipini panzembene yangu Sauma ndikakutarisa ndinofamba slipini panzembene yangu Sauma ndikakutarisa ndinofamba slipini panzembene yangu Sauma Sauma totatawana na Botswana Sauma mokwandeka yote Sauma Remi Salomon makasi ya Mungu mokwandeka yote Bandakasangana newe iwe ndakasiva nasangana na maine moyo wangu ye siwa kuchitikane tose enda kuchibuse vamwe uve nezvimandi beneseza sandera ndebele mwana akabatana iye ukanditambisira worimwe chete sezvinoita bhefisi pandaimba inganakidza mwana anotamba iyeye Sauma 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 iva mukadzi anoshanda nesimba samaititi vai Felistas murata anoshanda everywhere poda wowe uve nerunakoserwa mata mupositaira mwana akanaka yeye ukafa nemoyo wese sezvinoita pashoni java nyika ichakufarira Drova rangarirawo Sauma usaite makuwa saevidhenzi chiyera uya unofira mumaoko mevanhu Sauma 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 Awanakati ya Afriki zite Jaison Midzi Karoli Nomeda Genoisa Philippe Muganza Stephanie Mujakuwa Number 1 katika Banjuka nyako Makanaka Kasaira Motele Ki Carolino Menda The King of Sukus Salomoni Makasi ya Mungu Passion Jamba Tongo na Midzi Woloka kulela ya Jaison Midzi Malodi Mokonzi ya computer Schema Records Others follow Number 1 Sauma Sauma
Yes, that was Jaison Midzi on your screen, and he's the one I'm talking to tonight here in South Australia. He's just arrived now, so we're just gonna kickstart with our interview. Welcome to the program, my brother. How are you?
I'm very good, Afla. How are you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. I hope you've shared the video. I hope you've asked your community to come and watch this great interview we are about to have. So, Jaison, how has your week been so far?
My week has been good. Yes, ups and downs here and there, but we keep
That is
pushing.
good. That is very good. So I would like for you to tell us who you really are. Give us a little story about you, who Jaison Midzi is, and where you come from, and just a little story about you.
Jaison Midzi is an academic, schooled in Zimbabwe, went to the University of Zimbabwe, which we used to call the highest institution, or the institution of highest inquiry, where you answer the hardest questions. Also, Jaison Midzi is a musician, a rumba musician. In Cameroon, they call it makosa. And in countries like Kenya and Tanzania, they call it lingala. But generally in Africa, we call it rumba music. I'm also a politician. Recently, I was running for the electorate of Elder in South Australia. Sorry, not Elder, electorate of Gibson in South Australia. And I did very well. I didn't win, but I did very well. So many people voting for me and identifying with my manifesto. And you know, like I said, music is leadership. I'm also into community leadership. I'm the chairperson of the South Australia Zimbabwe Association, SAZA, the Zimbabwe community in South Australia. And I've some stints in the African communities like ACOSA. I used to be the events organizer for ACOSA, African Community Organization of South Australia. So yeah, that's my background in brief.
That is very good. Thank you so much. Jaison, I would like to ask you a few questions. We haven't got a lot of time today, but we'll start with, I want to know what should be done for young African Australians to participate in African community leadership.
Okay, currently we have got illegitimate African community leaders who make themselves chairpersons, or who are made chairpersons by less than 50 people in a in a state which has more than 100,000 Africans, and 50 people making you a chairperson, or saying that they've elected you or they've co-opted you to be a chairperson or to be a vice chairperson or a secretary or a what. So these organizations, they are run, they are departed, they are not connected to the young Africans. They also don't do research to check what young Africans want so that they can really provide that. The use of the community board or community grouping is to be able to serve the interests or to answer the problems of their people.
Yeah.
So the problems of young Africans.
Your microphone is start playing up. I don't know if you're touching it or not, but it start making a bit noise. It stopped now. Okay. So yeah.
I think the problems of young Africans
nice.
in South Australia or in Australia are not being answered by the community organizations we have.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So there is no way an African can associate with organizations that they don't vote, whose leaders they don't know who voted them, who don't even come to them when they seek mandate to lead them. Organizations which are run on as though we are still, which are run unprofessionally. In this country, we implement what's on paper. You implement police, but these organizations, they don't have police. They have constitutions which serve themselves, which don't include everyone else. So the constitutions of these organizations, they exclude the young people. So how can young people be enticed? And these young people, they are brought up in this system where if it is 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. Not that it's 10 o'clock and it ends up, something ends up becoming 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
These young people will not connect with such kind of behaviors. So there is really a lot to be done in the African community organizations in as far as time management, policy implementation, constitutionalism, and also someone seeking mandate being elected by the generality of the African people across all age groups. Then you can say you represent them. Not to simply just impose yourself and say, I'm the chairperson of AXA, I'm the chairperson of ACOSA. So, but you are leading people who don't know you, who never voted you, who are not even your members.
So are you saying these groups, nobody vote for them into office? How do they pick themselves to be leaders of those communities?
Yes, you are a media person, Mr. Afla. Did you ever see anywhere Africans saying we are going to vote the chairperson of AXA or ACOSA, or we are going to vote the secretary of chairperson of such, or did you ever see their constitution, or did you ever see them coming to you to say, hey, we are here, can you be our member, or whatever it is, we don't even know about them, but they say they represent us, but they are misrepresenting us. That's why you see there are so many social ills in the African communities. People are being bullied in workplaces and no one represents them. People are being,
I can hear you. Yeah, I can still hear you.
You can hear me? And our kids have turned into gangsterism and they're murdering one another in the streets, in Adelaide. It's happening.
In saying that, I've got a
and,
picture here from the news. And you will continue our conversation. But since you mentioned that, I would like to show it on our screen what had happened here in Adelaide. If you can see on the screen, it says gangster roll call of accused. The names and faces of those arrested over days over city lights. It says that a killer slips in. So since you talk about Africans murdering one another, how much information do you have on this particular news that is around here in our city or our state at the moment?
It's like I said, fish rots from the head.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here to say the organizations we have, the peak bodies, ACOSA and AXA, should be shape or ship out. Because this is a big failure on their part. How can we have young Africans as young as 14 years old running riot in the streets of Adelaide, murdering one another with knives? How can we have that? When we
that is very bad.
Got, community leaders, and these community leaders they are electing themselves. They don't go to these young people, and they misrepresent these young people. They don't even research and ask these young people what they want. So, like I've talked in some forums and said, these two organizations, AXA and ACOSA, should either stop operating or should unite, and people can rewrite a constitution that is inclusive, inclusive to all Africans, inclusive to our young African Australians.
Yeah.
So that we can answer their problems at community level. At the moment, people lie that they are answering the problems of these young African Australians. No. How do you answer the problems of people that you never voted? Right now, we're going for elections as Australians. Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese, they are coming to us, advertising themselves for us to vote them, so they represent us. So how do you say you represent people who never voted you? This is what these African community organizations are doing and lying to the government that they are representing Africans who never voted you. Is that true? That's why you see all these ills. Have you seen, do you know that there is a police operation called Melt or Meld, if I'm not mistaken? That police operation is only for African gangs, not for Indian gangs, not for Chinese gangs, not for British gangs in South Australia, just for African gangs.
So are you saying they are discriminating against the Africans from what you say? I'm saying the police are discriminating from?
It's not discrimination. As a leader in the African communities, I know the shortfalls that our leaders in our
but when you say they are
have.
police operating just for African gangsters, that it means they are targeting one particular of people from what you're saying. So I'm asking you, do you think is that they are discriminating against just this one particular type of people?
It's not discrimination. They are doing their job. And they've seen there's a problem.
So why are they targeting every gangsters? And why are they targeting only just African gangsters? I don't even know if we have gangsters here in South Australia or even in Australia.
Yes. Have you seen Chinese gangsters stabbing one another in the streets of Adelaide? Have you seen it on news? It has never happened. We have not heard about it.
Yes, but
it's
Jaison,
African gangsters who stabbed one another. So
when people are fighting, doesn't make them gangsters. Don't you think it's wrong to use gangsters when just particular little young kids are fighting among each other? Why would they use the word gangster? Like, I don't get it.
Afla,
Yes.
Afla, they are gangsters. I want you to dig deep into this. I would want you to bring police of some of the African police liaison officers we have in our communities.
Okay. All right. I know of one.
You know of one. I want you to ask him why we have a special operation for these gangsters. We have to look at ourselves in the eyes before we look at the eyes of the systems. It's not a system. The police have got to do their job. They've got to keep South Australia safe. And we cannot have our young people going around stabbing one another and causing trauma to onlookers in the street. That's why I'm saying, as African community leaders, the organizations which say they represent us, they need to rebrand, reform, rewrite their constitutions so that we can now start to address the problems that are happening in our communities.
So this ASA and ACOSA,
this is
we don't know who vote them into office. So, but you did talk about or mention about peak bodies, and who are these peak bodies as well?
You know, government they take a continental, as far as Africans is concerned in South Australia, the continental, those people who say they represent the continent of Africa, or their organization represents the continent of Africa, namely ACSA, African Communities Council of South Australia, and ACOSA, African Communities Organization of South Australia. These are the peak bodies that the government looks at to get information and to pass information and mostly services to the people. But these bodies now, because they are peak bodies, they have to be voted by us. They have to include us in their structures. Like my own community, I'm the chairperson of Zimbabweans in South Australia. We are not included in these organizations.
So if you are the chairman of Zimbabwe community and you are not included, why would these people be saying they are representing Africans?
They say they are.
Okay. All right. I think I would like to get into that one. I would like to speak with some of them. This is and ACOSA, I would like to speak some of them. So I would ask this question about how they are being leaders if some of these African countries are not even part of it and they don't even know how they get elected. So can you tell me what
you yourself if you yourself did not vote them, because you didn't vote them, they are there, you didn't vote them, how did they become our leaders?
I did not vote them, but anyway. I know I think, or what I know is every community, they got a person representing their country. But from what you're saying, Zimbabwe community doesn't even represent anyone in that community. So that's why I would need to find out what is happening over there. You know what I mean?
I will also challenge you, Mr. Afla. I want you to ask the chairperson of your own community on your forum, on your platform here, to ask who is representing the people of Ghana in ACSA, and
I can do that.
Who elected that person to go and represent the people of Ghana in ACSA. This is the transparency and the constitutionalism that we are lacking as Africans. We need to start to follow. We need to write our constitutions so that they include everybody. And have a free electoral process for our community leaders. You know, and be transparent, be fair, be honest. Those things are needed for our children to also be honest and be respectful on the road and stop stabbing one another. It is fish rots from the head. Yeah.
All right, that's very good. All right, let's move on from there. Let's just talk more about the problems Africans are facing in Australia as a general, or South Australia as a state. Can you tell us some of those problems since we're running out of time?
I think there are so many, Mr. Afla. we have got intra problems and extra problems. Intra problems are the problems within ourselves as Africans.
Mm-hmm.
One, there's disunity. If you check, we have two organizations saying they represent Africans. One ACOSA, one AXA. And that scenario has led to many of the 26 communities which we have in South Australia being divided. Some having 3, some having 2, some having 1, but a lot of squabbles because the constitution is not being followed. People elect one another to home at and then they come and just endorse, this is our leader, this is our next leader. Like we're big in Africa there. We actually have to change the way we do things. We want to keep pace with the way Australia is run. The systems of Australia and our systems in our communities and houses should be at par. But at the moment, our children have a social disconnect, or they have a social conflict between what they witness in the community and at school and what they witness at home.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be done. But there are many problems. Africans have not got into positions of leadership. There are some professions where you cannot see an African. There are so many things. Africans are being bullied in workplaces. There's also joblessness. There's also the issue of drugs and all that stuff. So there are so many things. Even domestic violence is part of it as well. There are many things happening.
So with all these things happening among Africans, what are some of the things you, as a chairman of Zimbabwe community, what have you done to change some of these things for your community?
What I've done, I wrote a strong letter to government last year. I wrote a letter to all these organizations like AXA, ACOSA, and all the community organizations, like even your Ghana community. They received my letter where I complained about the conduct and behavior of AXA and ACOSA, the misrepresentation. The premier who was there, then Stephen Marshall, he has my letter. So is most MPs. I sent that letter. I will send you the letter so that you can have a read of it, which I sent back then, articulating these issues, which are happening even today.
If you got the letter right now, I would like for you to send it to me.
I will send you right away. That
would be awesome.
As soon as we finish this interview, I'll send you that letter. You will see it.
Okay, so thank you. You've done your bit. We would like to follow this up with ACOSA and ASA as well. I would like to get into these things. I would like to.
You mentioned something like racism, Mr. Afla.
Racism I said, don't you think they are being discriminating against, a particular people when you said there is a police targeting African gangsters? You've already answered that one. I haven't said anything about
that is not racism. They are keeping the state safe.
You already explained that one. So I haven't come to the racism part yet. I might come to that part. But at the moment, I haven't said anything about racism yet. I just want to know your experience with as a community leader. What are some of your experiences?
The experience is that there is no research that is happening in our communities to research about the people we lead and their problems and how to solve those problems. 1, 2. People actually are running away from communities and community programs because they are not run professionally. They are run unprofessionally, and there is a social disconnect and there is negligence in the way these organizations are being run. And also there is no transparency in the election of leaders. That's what I've seen, and people don't want to follow the constitution. They want to do as they wish. They want to say, I'm Afsa's friend, so Afsa should be the chairperson of Ghana community. So I will have to ensure I talk to my other friends and say, let's put him there. When you put him there, he does nothing because you just put him there because he's your friend. People with the passion do not get the chance to do the actual volunteering in our communities. Because there
Yes.
are some people who believe they own it all. Everyone should listen to them, forgetting the constitution.
So were you voted to be a chairman of Zimbabwe community of South Australia?
I was voted because what happens in our constitution is for you to vote or be voted into a position in the community, you have to be a paid up member. Who, and our membership fee is $20 per family and $10 for a student per year membership fee. But you see that
is
people
cheap.
decide not to pay that $20 for the year.
Even that cheap, they don't pay.
Yes, even $10, $20 per year. And the same people, they will still say they want to vote, but the constitution says you can only vote when you have paid $20 per year. And people don't want to pay that $20. So this is the problem we have. We are not so keen on our programs, and we are not so keen on our communities and making them bigger and better.
Yeah.
It's affecting every community in South Australia. But like I said, we have to start by AXA and ACOSA, either they've got to unite and rewrite the constitution, or an organization which is constituted should be formed and lead the people of Africa out of all these gangsterisms, domestic violence, bullying at work, and many problems that are affecting Africans.
So you as a chairman of Zimbabwe community of South Australia, have you approached this ASA and ACOSA in regards of how they elect or select their leaders? Have you ever tried to do that?
I have approached them, and they know where I stand. They know it, and I've told them the roadmap of connecting with the grassroots, connecting with everybody, the youth, the what, so we can say now, this is what we are doing. We are saving the people.
Okay, that is very well. I'm glad you said that.
And they should also stop plagiarizing programs. Like you find maybe a community like my community, we see Africa Day as a public holiday in our country, and we run that program, Africa Day celebrations. Then you see AXA jumping in, trying to scavenge on that program, double dipping, so that you end up with two similar programs. You know, we're running a program called Africa Day Celebrations in Adelaide since 2004. Then this year, we see AXA that we invited it's me who wrote them an email to say, AXA, can you send a person so they can work with us to present a nice Africa Day celebration? And they didn't respond to it. I even gave them phone calls. They just did not respond to it. Then a month ago, I see they're advertising the same program on a Friday night.
So are you just explaining to us that you've been doing African Day celebration for over a decade, but then all of a sudden,
for over a decade, over 2 decades,
so all of a sudden, ASA and ACOSA are trying to organize this same program that you've been organizing already.
Not ACOSA, AXA.
ASA, okay. Have you approached them? Have you asked them why they trying to do the same thing you already been doing?
Yeah, I sent a message to their secretary.
Did you get any response?
Their secretary was there last year on our invitation to attend Africa Day in Kilburn.
Okay.
And their chairperson and their vice president, they were there last year on our invitation. They enjoyed the program. And we told them we need a member from you to come and join our planning so that we can also have your thoughts from your organization.
Yes.
And they turn around and they are plagiarizing, like they did with AFCON soccer, that AFCON soccer that is done by AXA. They grabbed it from community people who were playing their soccer, like Dave Shepard to Siafa OP of Liberia, Leon Green of South Africa. That soccer was being run by communities, and AXA came, grabbed it, and took it to FFSA. Just breaking things of the community, that's what they do.
This is very interesting. I really
because they don't have a strategic plan. When you don't have a strategic plan, you are operating by like knee-jerk reaction to just wake up and say, oh, Afla is doing a TV, so I should also do a TV. And you don't have training for that, maybe.
So I asked you before, when you approach them, that are they also organizing the same thing you've been doing over and over and over? Why are they? What was the response to you?
I will send you the letter that I wrote. They don't respond.
Oh, they refuse to respond to you.
Yeah, okay. I will send you the letter that I sent to their secretary.
So would you say that Africans are very? Would you say that Africans are very divided here in Australia or South Australia, to be specific?
Africans divided by AXA and ACOSA.
You reckon they've divided Africans, ASA and ACOSA?
Yeah, because when you run an organization that you say is representing Africans, and that organization is so divisive, he has no strategic plan, operates by knee-jerk reactions, then you divide the people. You make people angry, you agitate people. So that's what they do.
So with this ASA and ACOSA, what does even ASA means and ACOSA means? What does it mean?
ACOSA, it stands for African Community Organization of South Australia. AXA stands for African Communities Council of South Australia.
I see. This is very interesting,
Jaison. They all say they represent us Africans. They also represent you where you are. They are representing you.
They represent me as a Ghanaian, or yes, they represent Ghana Association of South Australia?
No, as an African, you are under them.
Oh, really? Wow, yes, I don't think I'm under them. I'm not under them. But I will go to the bottom of this because I've got no idea about that. I don't know how they are being elected. And you can't look after me if I don't even vote you into
You don't even know who they are, but they say they represent you.
Well, I'm going to get into the bottom of this. This is the first time I'm doing a show with South Australian or something. My show has always been with musicians and other people back home in Ghana and around the globe, people actually from Ghana. And last time I had an interview with an Australian who lives in Melbourne, a musician. So you are the second I'm having an interview with you, but you're a politician and you're a musician as well. So I would really like to know more about this ASA and ACOSA thing. And
if I can repeat myself on your show, Afla,
go for it.
And constituted board will have a constitution that covers all Africans. Point number one. Point number two, we'll have a transparent electoral process. But if we can talk about an African board, we want the chairpersons of communities to be automatic committee members of an African board like AXA. The chairperson of Ghana should be an automatic committee member. And those chairpersons can now vote their president and their secretary. Like we see in Africa, your president from Ghana and my president from Zimbabwe, they will go to Addis Ababa and sit at the African Union, which represents all Africans. From there, they choose to say, our chairperson is Mr. Nana Addo from Ghana.
That is right. Are you there? Sorry, viewers. It looks like my guest internet is stuck a bit, but hopefully we get him back. But before he comes back,
you can.
Oh, there he comes. Yeah, we lost you for a bit there. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now. Yeah, yes. We lost you a little bit.
I gave an example of African Union to say all the 56 presidents of Africa who have voted in their countries democratically or whichever means, they come to the African Union as automatic members who will then select to say our chairperson this year is maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya or President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. But it's president. It's not just another person like me who is not a president of Zimbabwe. I go and say I'm representing Zimbabwe. This is
a very good point. This is a very great point. If you're not a president of any other African community, why would you be a president of ASA or ACOSA? That's a really, really good point. I like that one. But like I said, I will have to get to the bottom
Yes,
of
if
this.
I
I
can
will have
ask
to bring
you,
some of
if you
them.
check, is your chairperson of Ghana in your community? Is your chairperson your representative in AXA? No, it's someone else.
I don't know that one, but I have put a question to them. I've asked them as we speak. I have sent a message to the platform, and I want to know. No response yet, but I do hope I get a response. And if not, then that will be. We'll see how we can go about that one as well. So I would like to ask you one more thing, and then you tell me a little bit about the African Day celebration, how people can come and where they can get tickets and stuff like that. So why are young Africans not taking part in African community leadership, even though they make the largest number of Africans in our community?
Yeah, the programs are departed from them. I think the African communities, they've got to get into young people and start to involve them and make them leaders of these communities so that these young people can bring fresh ideas and skills in the communities. Not to have old, I can't say old people, but let's have young people being part of leadership. And that way they can start to be involved and we can be able to assist them in the problems they are facing.
So you think the leaders are not doing much to encourage these young Africans to be able to be part of this African community?
Imagine if they are not
your mic is start playing up again. Check that you're not touching it.
If they are not inviting me as a chairperson of another organization, do you think they will?
So your mic, keep going because it's not clear. But once it becomes better, I will let you know. Yeah.
Okay, I said if they are not inviting me, the chairperson. If they are not inviting me, the chairperson of Zimbabwe, would they invite young people?
That
if
is
they
very
can
true.
invite all chairpersons, would
that
they?
Is very
they don't
true.
have capacity. They have no capacity. They have no transparency. They have no honestness. They've despotism. They are running them in a dictatorship way. Where it's my way, it's my way or nothing.
So can you tell me who lead all these groups, this ASA and ACOSA? Can you tell me if you know a leader, if you know a chairman there or a secretary who is there? Can you give us name or you don't want to?
The chairperson of AXA is called Mr. Dennis Yeng from South Sudan. The chairperson of ACOSA is Mr. David Malinde of Kenya.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to, look for their contact and have a chat with them as well. If I can bring them to the show to explain things to us, I will do that. If not, we a show and bring it later to you, we can do that as well. So, is there anything you would like to say to the people of South Australia or to all these Africans in Australia? Is there anything you would like to tell them before we move to your music and the African Day celebration coming up soon?
What I want to say, Mr. Aflais, this was a hot topic. I want us to close it here. We'll come again on another day to discuss the other topics, music and these other things. I will pen off by saying Africans in South Australia should know that Australia has rules and laws that must be followed. Africans in South Australia should remember that when they have problems with domestic violence, problems with mental health, problems with anything, there are systems, there are organizations that are run by government that we can go and approach and seek help. If you are having anything, everything is here, but all we need is to fix our organizations, to look at one another in the eye and say, look, you are not doing things right. Rewrite the constitution so you include everybody and the young people, and also ensure there is a transparent process of electing you into a chairperson. Don't just be that chairperson who enjoys walking around being a chairperson when people don't know you and don't know your organization and don't know who voted you.
Yeah.
We should change. And
That
the
is
time
very
is
good.
now.
That is
Thank
true.
you.
Thank you. Thank you also,
I
Jason.
look forward to meeting you in the next broadcast.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You sure you don't want to tell people about the African Day coming up?
I think I'll pen off on this one.
All right, thank you so
I
much.
may tell people about racism and stop on that one.
You still want to talk about racism? Maybe we should leave that one out.
Okay, fine. We'll take it next time. Thank you very much, Mr. Afla. It was
thank
nice
you for coming on the show. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night.
I want you to bring all African chairpersons here so that they present their processes.
I will try and contact them, and if they honor my invitation, that would be awesome. And I think I'm gonna dedicate this day, Wednesdays, so we can do shows for the African communities here in South Australia. And then as the time goes by, we can stretch our hands to the other states and stuff like that. So yeah, I will try and do that. And if you have some of the if you got some of their contacts, you can pass it down to me so I can contact them beforehand. So thank you very much.
I will also send you the letters that I said I was going to send you.
Yes, please do send me the letters so at least I have copies. Thank you so much for coming on. You have a lovely day. Sorry, you're in Australia. Have a lovely night. All right, bye, Jason. Bye. Yes, so my viewers, that was Jaison Midzi from Zimbabwe. He's the chairperson of Zimbabwe of South Australia. We were just talking about ASA and ACOSA. Yes, a community that is run by Africans, but he was explaining because me as a Ghanaian, I don't even know about these these organizations or communities leaders or something like that. And so it was an eye-opening for me, and it's really good. And I'm pretty sure there are some people out there as well who doesn't know much about this organization going on. You cannot represent me if I know nothing about you. That is no. So as we've started about this issue, I'm gonna try and contact some of these leaders and have a chat with them, and I can bring them to our show if they allow me. And if they don't allow me, then we'll just keep going and say what we want to say about them. If you are given the platforms, you need to come and sit down and express and educate the people about what is happening. Otherwise, other people will say what they know is going on. Maybe that is not what is going on. But if you take the opportunity and come and sit here on the platform and explain what is happening, then other people can hear where you are coming from and what is going on. So I would like to say a very thank you for watching, and I'm glad to see Belson watching. I'm glad to see Favor, Dixon watching. I'd like to see Sam Asabri watching. He commented before. It's a very interesting point of view, Mr. Midzi. And Favor says, Shalom, BNA TV watching from Israel. Belsi says, great show. Atakufi from Ghana says, great show in swag. So I just want to say a very big thank you to you guys all, and I hope I see you again next week about this program. But tomorrow we are here to speak about Ghana issue with a friend in China. Have a lovely day, and we will see you again very soon. Enjoy your night, your day, your afternoon, wherever you may find yourself. And don't forget to follow BNA TV on Facebook and BNA TV GH on YouTube. See ya.
You know what? It's Killers in the beat.